Hello again, it's Mr. Pete, and this is my short subject number 28 entitled Quick Change Tooling for the size B Aloris tool post. Now make sure you watch the previous video. I'll put a link in the description where I show many more of these that fit the size A. But today we're concerned with the B. I do not have nearly as many of these, but I really have all I need. And this size B fits on my 12-inch closing lathe. So that is the size that you want to use for 12 up to 15-inch machines. The tool holders that you see on the workbench are not all Aloris. Some are Dorian and some are imports, but let's start out with the simplest ones here, which we simply call turning and facing holders. And this particular one is a Dorian, and it's a special one, which I'm going to show you here in a second. It may not look special, but it certainly is. Now here's a Sharpe's, pretty much the same thing, but remember when it has that V-groove in there, we call it the turning, facing, and boring bar holder. So if nothing else, these are the ones that you need. And back here in the back row are a couple others, and these are really the same, but I have cutting tools mounted in them pretty much permanently. And this one is a Sharpe's, and you can read the number on there if you're interested. And this is an Aloris. So these are really the same size pretty much and have the same function. This one does not have the V-groove, this one does. Now this is one I just showed you a moment ago, and that's your Sharpe's, and read the number there if you care or are interested in that. But here's another Sharpe's. It's pretty much the same. It is a different number, but notice that it is longer. And that may be beneficial to you for certain tools that you may be holding. I showed you this a moment ago and I said it's a real special one. Well, what's so special about it? And it is a Dorian, and notice the number there. But there are times with a standard holder like this other Sharpe's here, you'll see that certain tools will not fit in there. For instance, this big boring bar is too large in diameter. But this holder is much larger here and can hold big boring bars or any other large tooling that you can't fit in the other ones, and that is really handy. And what is the difference in size here? Well, the standard one that everyone has is about 3/4 of an inch, and this one is 1 1/8, so that's quite a bit different. And also we have about 3/4 of an inch there, where this one is only less than 5/8 of an inch. So you may need to get one of these for certain jobs. I don't know if Sharpe's sells them or just a specialty company like Dorian, but again, this will be expensive. Now I showed you some of these in the A size, but in the B size I pretty much have the same thing. Again, this is the more standard one, pretty much like what I showed you over here, with a boring bar in it. And this one does not have the V-groove, but I'm holding a boring bar in it anyway, and it doesn't seem to twist, but you're probably better off when you have a boring bar to use the V-groove type, unless of course the boring bar is flat on two sides. And this is a genuine Aloris, rather large one, 1 inch in diameter. Had that for a long time. But looking at these two now, these are the long reach, so they got that extra length right there. And there is the number again, and that's a DTM. And how about this one? This is the same type of holder, but it's an Aloris BXA13 with the extra reach. And of course you can put the boring bar in there from either direction depending on your application. I made up quite a few of these dial indicator holders, and I do put them pretty much in the holder for the duration of my life, because it's just so handy to not have to switch things around. So it's nice to have a lot of these. You do not need to, but these are quick change tool posts, and if you have to spend a lot of time changing tools all the time in the holder, it's not so quick, is it? I really like this one. It's also a Shars. There's the number. They are imports, and I have two of these, or I guess just one, in the A size, so I won't talk any more about that. But this is great, of course, for turning, and, or should I say, turning, and then putting it in the other direction and facing. You can change the tool in a matter of, what, 10 seconds or less? Here's another one that I bought from Shars, and I only used it once or twice, and it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. It's a double ender again, and it uses a little bit different insert, and it holds the inserts at that angle. So maybe you would have a use for this better than what I do. I was a little disappointed, but it's not really the fault of this. Probably it's my fault for not being innovative, but looking at this genuine Dolores BXA7, there is your parting tool, your cutoff tool that can be left in there permanently, very quickly, can be loosened up and moved in and out as needed, and it does hold it at an angle. I'm not sure what angle. I suppose that's about 10 degrees. This very heavy block here is to be used, of course, for boring bars, and it's a 1-inch hole. I think you can get these in different sizes. So this big boring bar will fit in there nicely if needed, but I have been doing a lot of knurling lately, so I've been keeping this Brown and Sharpe knurling tool in there, and there is a special video on that if you want to watch it at some time. But the nice thing about these heavy ones is they can absorb an awful lot of vibration and minimize chatter. But it's a heavy one. Here are two that I have never shown you before. Again, they're in the size B, and this is a BXA number 5. What's so special about it? This is a number 2 Morse taper. So you can drill under power with this, and I think I'll make a video on that. I never have. And in order to remove this, of course, you're going to have to tap it from the end here. There is no little slot that we're used to when we handle Morse tapers. And similarly, this one, as you can see, just a little bit larger. And there is the number, BXA 53, and this is a number 3 Morse taper. This is 2. And here is the number 3. And you can put any taper tool in there that you want. Could be a drill, a reamer, or counter bore. Pretty nice. Actually, I didn't point this out, but the tang here extends far enough when you have it in all the way where you could tap it to get it out. I suppose this one is the same. I just didn't put it in there far enough. I'm back to the number 2 Morse taper, and a little bit of the tang does stick out for removal purposes. If you follow my videos, you probably have seen me use this threading tool, and there is the number. Boy, what a reflection. There it is, BXA8, B size again. Now in here I have a pre-ground Acme tool, and that is for 6 threads per inch. When these get dull, you can simply grind the top off because you have the profile that you need. So it doesn't take much to sharpen them. I have these in different sizes. Here is a smaller one, also Acme, and that is a number 8 threads per inch, I should say. And they very quickly can be removed, just one screw. And then you got these little set screws here that can give you a little bit of an angle one way or the other to increase or decrease the side clearance depending on the pitch of the thread. So that's pretty handy. And then these other 3 here, 2 of them are duplicates actually. These are 60-degree V threads, and they come in 2 sizes. Can you see? A small one and a large one. They may offer many others, I'm not sure. And then here you can see where this has been sharpened at one time. These are high-speed steel, not carbide. And one other very interesting thing about this tool holder, and I'm going to refer to the Alorus catalog to clarify that. And looking in the Alorus catalog, there is the number 8, and the tool is held in there exactly like what I just showed you. But you can move the cutter into the other position right here, and if you do that, it allows you to thread away from a shoulder. And I intend to make a video on that, so you do not crash your lathe, break the tool, ruin your work, and so on. So that's a pretty neat feature. I think I wasn't totally aware of it until recently upon doing my study, and that's why I intend to do a dedicated video on that and watch for it in the future. Well, these 15 tool holders are the sum total of what I have to fit my BXA tool post for my larger lathe. Hope you enjoyed the video, but for a little extra credit, I'm going to go into the DORIAN catalog, also a 30-year-old catalog, and do what I did in the last video and show you some of the various tool holders that DORIAN offered. Most of them are similar, or identical I should say, to the Alorus, but they have a few that are probably unique to DORIAN. And I'm sure they have a website, since they no longer have a paper catalog that cost $5.50 in '93. Here are two related videos you may like to watch.